Okay. If you have a dense service area as an electrician, there's amazing things that happen. Especially for electricians making less than 1 million in revenue per year, density of service area is something that is very difficult to attain. And that's mainly because you have a lot of referrals. You're primarily getting referrals as you're getting started. And so you know people most likely that live 20 minutes, 30 minutes away from each other, maybe an hour away from each other. So you're having too much drive time. That's one of your first challenges. Maybe you're making $100,000, $200,000 a year, but you're in the car for hours every day. You're driving in your truck for hours every day. So one of the things that also comes with this is you have a big service area and you're doing too many different types of services because you're just trying to take any work that comes in the door, which is normal for getting started. And that's great. And it's part of just the growing process for any business as it's just being, it's like a baby, it's like an infant growing. And so it's hard to become efficient when you're doing lots of different types of services, particularly when it comes to developing employees. It's hard for a new employee to learn 20 different types of offerings that you can do, from different types of lighting installations to different types of work. And so there can be a lack of process documentation. This is how we do X, this is how we do Y, because that takes time. And you're so busy just doing the work. And then you're trying to train somebody. It's a lot of hands on training. It's a lot of, hey, this is how we do it, we handle it this way, and you just have to watch me and come along with me, ride along. And so this sort of employee development can take a lot of time, and then even process documentation isn't really going to be developed like it needs to be a lot of times. So you can see how these problems inhibit a business from scaling past $1 million. You really get capped at the capability of the business owner to attract great talent and then to develop those people. That's really where you start getting capped because one person can't do $1 million worth of service work unless you're charging a lot of money and your demographic makes sense. But if assuming you're building a team, it's very difficult to be efficient and to build out your process and scale with more employees. So density of service area is one of the ways we can help solve that problem to scale. So if you have a dense service area, great things happen. One of them is less drive time. This is obvious, but you start saving hours a week cumulatively across the whole company, all of your team. That is huge. You're becoming way more efficient. Now the business is more scalable because you have more time actually doing productive work. Even if you charge a trip charge, I still think it's better. Hey, you can bring more valuable value to the customer if you're in that local service area. You can charge less or even the same amount, but then you can be local. So you get a better profit and you have more productivity. Repeatable services in the neighborhood. So here's something to think about. If you have a builder that built a neighborhood, and let's say there's 500 homes, and they have a common electrical problem across those 500 homes that pops up between 8 to 12 years after the homes were initially built. If you can get in on that neighborhood, that phase one build of those 500 homes, and you start servicing those homes and you make a custom offer, say you do it for 30, you serve 30 of those homes to fix that electrical issue. For the other 470, you can now have a custom offer to approach that neighborhood and say, hey, let us inspect this. We notice it's a common problem. So this is a huge win, and that helps a lot with employee training because if you're going to do 470 inspections, you can train up that employee. Hey, we're just going to move really fast with your training. You're going to focus in on this one offering for this specific neighborhood. You're going to get a lot of customer interaction. We're going to generate a lot of customer reviews. It's a really quick thing. We know that 40% of the time it's going to lead to people hiring us to do the fix for this problem. So you're also going to be trained on that, and they become very comfortable in your ecosystem working with you. The employees can also document the process because they're having a lot of repetition. You've gone over with them all the different scenarios of how it could play out, different factors to consider. And as you've continued to work with them and they get a lot of repetition on one thing, then they can make the process. We also have training for how an employee or anyone can make processes or SOPs for the business where you can use a camera, use video, how to walk through it, how to structure a process. And that's something that our company offers to where any electrician, anyone who works in your company can document the process and improve the business, and you can equip them with that. This goes back to more scalable, the more of this you have documented. So now you might wonder, density of service area, that's awesome, right? Fantastic. How do we do it? How do we get there? We're going to do neighborhood digital marketing. All this basically means is we're going to do all these types of things or any combination of these things. We're going to do local SEO, targeting neighborhoods. We're going to make pages for neighborhoods. We're going to have reviews focused on neighborhoods. We're going to have content for neighborhoods. We're going to have all the things with SEO technically for neighborhoods. We're going to do social media that's neighborhood focused, email as well, focus on neighborhoods reviews as well. So reviews are geographically targeted and relevant for those neighborhoods. We're going to do paid ads as well. That's also targeting those specific geographic areas. We're also Facebook groups. This is more on the business owner, where you get involved in different Facebook groups where you're able to be referred and be connected. And then offerings as well. And these are things we can partner with you on as well, where we help make offers and offerings for specific neighborhoods, back to this example of repeatable services. Then we've also got direct outreach. So there's the common method of, hey, you do service in one home in a neighborhood, and then you knock on a couple doors around that house to try to drum up business and get further connected in that neighborhood. So what we want to do is we want to target this neighborhood from a Google side and a digital marketing side, but we also want to supplement that with outreach to, say, the HOA director, say, different homeowners, hey, refer a neighbor, and things like that. So we definitely are building a holistic strategy across digital, but then also in person. And then if you can say that's a 500 home neighborhood, and say you're top of mind for 30% or 40% of those homeowners, that's really going to expand the business in a scalable way that's repeatable, into where some of our customers and different people we've talked to have said, hey, it's great when my service area is so dense and I don't even have to leave this neighborhood. That's it. You guys have a good one.